Hi, and welcome to another LRCC Soundbite. You know, I sometimes find it incredible how quickly we can forget things. On Tuesday, I went back to work after taking Christmas week off. And you know, even then, the memory of Christmas and New Year seemed to be way back, and that was only the 2nd of January. I wonder what's going on. Sometimes incredible things happen in our lives that we remember for ages, but life carries on and kind of seems to overwrite those memories because new things happen and we constantly move on. Sometimes keeping photos or looking back at old social media posts, they're the things that remind us what we did. In ancient times, things people wanted to remember would be written down and studied by future generations. Sometimes things wouldn't even be written down. Sometimes they'd just be passed on as stories and spoken about. This week, Christians remember some men who studied ancient writings, things people wanted to remember, and looked for indications that these things written about long ago might have actually happened. They appear in the Christmas story, although, a bit of a spoiler, they didn't turn up when our nativity plays say they did. I'm talking about the wise men, or as the song says, 3 kings. The ones who came from far away, bringing gifts of gold, frankincense and myrrh. I was thinking about them this week, and it struck me that these men not only watched out for signs that ancient prophecies had come to pass, but in this instance they were selected by God to be the ones to see this particular prophecy. Why do I say that? Well, the story goes that the wise men saw a star which had been prophesied to indicate that Jesus had been born. Having seen this star, they naturally headed to Jerusalem, the capital of Israel, to see if they could find this important baby. When they got there, though, no one knew anything about Jesus being born. They knew the prophecies, but they didn't know about him being born. If you remember, the only people that knew were the shepherds who'd visited Jesus in Bethlehem. Now, Jerusalem had its fair share of wise people. They were also looking out for prophecies being fulfilled, but they hadn't seen this star. In fact, the king in Jerusalem had to ask the wise men when this star had appeared. Presumably, he wanted to try to find out how old this baby was likely to be now. Subsequently, the wise men are sent off in the direction of Bethlehem, where they see and follow the star, but are warned by God in a dream not to go back and tell the king that they actually found Jesus. Now, I think the thing that struck me was that it was only these foreign wise men that were able to do this and find Jesus. Only they saw the star first appear. They were the ones trusted and welcomed to meet Jesus, who by now was probably a toddler. For the whole of history so far, God has worked with and welcomed in only Israel, only the nation that was chosen to be his. And suddenly, something new is going on. Outsiders are part of the story and are having messages and dreams from God themselves. One of the things Christians talk about is how Jesus came for everyone, no exceptions. You know, Jesus' whole mission was to come and make it possible for us to all be reconciled to God by enabling the wrong things that we've done to be forgiven. That's the story of Easter. But here, just a little while after Jesus' birth, we found outsiders being welcomed into the story. Everything we know about Jesus' life shows again and again how he worked on the margins of society, how he welcomed those on the outside in. As we begin 2024, wouldn't it be great to spend this year looking for ways for us, how we can welcome in people who we might not normally talk to, or people who aren't like us, or people who we might have seen as different. The reality is that we are all human. We're all the same as each other, and I believe loved equally by God. Doesn't matter who we are. This year, I guess I want to recognise that a little more clearly. And remember everything Jesus said about how we should treat each other with love. Have a great week. I'll see you next time. God bless you.